Culture Me.
Hello, I'm Alisa from School of Liberal Arts, Sukhothai Thammathirat Open University.
And I'm Jay. Welcome to Culture Me, where we talk about cultural issues and differences. Also, if you have any questions about culture or cultural differences or any comments, please feel free to email us at stoucultureme@gmail.com.
สวัสดีค่ะรายการ Culture Me นะคะวันนี้เป็นรายการที่5แล้วนะคะถ้าท่านมีประเด็นที่สนใจหรืออยากจะแลกเปลี่ยนนะคะติดต่อกับเราได้ที่ stoucultureme@gmail.com นะคะอาจารย์เจและอาจารย์อลิสาก็จะนำประเด็นต่างๆมาคุยกันนะคะทางรายการนี้นะคะอาจารย์ so today what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about telephone etiquette.
Yeah.
A lot of my Thai friends ask me advice on this topic. And when I've taught courses in the past, this was always a requested business course. So we're going to talk about telephone etiquette, both for business and personal, for both.
But we focus on personal first, right?
We'll probably
end up in
there's so many some things are standard for both. We'll probably have to talk about both.
Yeah, it's safe to do that, and we can learn about the English expression. You know, in this case, we are talking about talking on the phone in English. Of course.
Yes, in English.
So when we start with the greeting, of course.
Yes.
When you pick up the phone, you know, and you said you call that receiver. It's not a person, right? So receiver can mean two things.
The receiver can mean the part of the phone that you hold in your hand, but it can also be the receiver can also be the person getting the call.
Okay, and the caller is the one who first call.
Who makes the call.
Oh, okay, who makes call.
The call, yeah. You know, how you answer your phone depends on who the situation, if it's business or if it's personal, and what kind of phone it is. If it's the main office phone and it's no one's private line, if it's just the main office phone, normally the person answers with either if it's a department, the name of the department. Maybe as an example for our School of Liberal Arts, the person might say, School of Liberal Arts, this is Jay, may I help you? If it is your private line, then I answer mine, this is Jay. This is Jay.
You just tell right away that who's answer the phone. You don't have the other person, the caller, to ask who is that.
Right, yeah. That way, they want to know who if they've reached the right person. Even if they're calling my direct line in my office, someone else might answer it. You might. Maybe you're in there and you answer my phone for me.
No, I wouldn't do that. It would be nice to do that.
But someone, sometimes people do. Sometimes people have like a working partner or,
okay.
Sometimes, or a secretary who, would answer.
Ajahn, sometimes I heard like, this is Mr. Stephenson's residence. That's very, very high class, isn't it?
Very formal. Very, very formal. There are some people who answer their home phones that way. Most do not. Most answer their home phones, hello.
Okay, that might be a very, very big house then.
Could be, with a maid and a butler.
Okay, then the caller should introduce themselves in case they don't know each other.
Yeah, just in with our cell phones. If I'm receiving a business call on my cell phone, I still say this is Jay. If it's a business call.
in the States they use the word cell phones, right?
Yes.
But here we use mobile phones. Mobile or just mobile.
Right. But it's ingrained in my head to say cell. I would have to think first to say mobile.
Okay.
But it's the same thing. But yes, also the caller, even if you're calling someone's cell phone and we can see the number, and even if they have it stored, it's still polite to say, "Oh, hi, this is Jay."
Or this is Jay's calling from
Yeah,
Chiang Mai.
right. It depends on the situation.
Bangkok.
If you're calling someone's cell and they know that that they have your number stored, maybe you do business often, you should still say this is. If you're calling someone and if you do not know for sure that they have your number stored and they know exactly who you are, and you don't speak on a very regular basis, this is Jay from the School of Liberal Arts at STOU.
That's quite clear.
Yes. So the caller is like, oh, okay, I know exactly. I don't have to guess who this person is.
Next, please. Then we establish the context for the call. What does it mean again?
Tell them why you're calling. Tell the person why you're calling.
Yeah, so that you can, sort of focus on what you're going to talk about.
Exactly. Especially with business calls, you need to let the person know why you're calling. Why you're interrupting them, and so that the person can begin thinking about that topic.
I think this is very useful. I often tell our students that when you want to call the office of in the university, you should identify yourself and your student ID and tell what exactly do you want to ask us.
Exactly.
It saves a lot of time,
Exactly.
And then
get to the point.
Not beating around the bush.
Right.
If you remember what we talked about this last time, isn't it?
Yes. It's much better on a telephone business call to be as direct and clear as possible.
So you are not discussing how are you? Is it sunny today, rainy today? Not at all.
Only in person. In person, face to face. That is expected and polite. How are you? Or how have you been? That's very normal. But on the phone, you don't know how busy that other person is. You don't know what you have interrupted with your call.
Okay.
So it's just actually more polite to be quick, and to keep the call brief. To definitely keep the call brief, because many people are just so busy at work and they have a meeting in 5 minutes and they don't want to explain to you and seem rude. I get to the point. I have to go. So just keep it as brief as possible.
Okay. So what about other etiquette, Ajahn, about the ringing of the phone?
Ringing of the phone is important. The general rule is to let the phone ring at least 6 times.
6 times.
Which can seem like a lot, but never, ever just let the phone ring and ring and ring. I would say 6 or 7 and then hang up. Letting it just ring and ring. It's not only annoying if you're there, but you are in the middle of something and cannot take the call. But if the person stepped out, then maybe everyone else in the office is hearing that phone ring and ring and ring.
Okay.
And also, if it is urgent, if it is absolutely urgent, you can hang up and then call back again.
Call again.
But never more than twice. That way the caller knows that if he sees 2 missed calls in a row, something's important. Something is important. But to just keep calling over and over or to let it ring, we have a term for it. It's called attack calling. You're being attack called. So don't just keep calling over and over. The person, could be in the middle of something very, very important.
And what about the hanging up on the phone, Ajahn? If you're in a bad mood, can you sort of slam the receiver.
People do often, but they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to. The person who called is not supposed to hang up on the receiver. The receiver can hang up on the caller if the person who called is
saying something
not
nasty,
polite,
not
or
polite.
or just it's perfectly all right for the person who received the call, but the caller should not hang up on the receiver.
อาจารย์ what about the time to call people?
This varies by culture, and I got this stuff from Hiltman.com, and it's very good, very useful. But he says never call after midnight and never before 6 a.m. But where I'm from in Texas, but this also the entire South, and I think most of the United States, our rule that we were always brought up with, from being children, never call anyone before 8 a.m. and never call anyone after 9 p.m. Unless it's either extremely like life or death emergency, or unless you are very, very, very close friends and know that it's all right. That's if you're close friends, it doesn't matter. But a business call, calling someone after 9 or before 8 is just usually not acceptable. Not acceptable.
อาจารย์ so what about the receiver etiquette that we should focus on?
One thing some people don't realize is when you're getting a call, it's your choice whether to answer it or not. You don't have to answer the phone. It's perfectly okay to, if you're doing something that it's requires your attention in person and you don't want to take the call, it's okay.
Nowadays some people call you to advertise something or to sell something.
I hate that. It's so annoying.
Some people are, they don't dare to hang up or what to do in that case. Actually,
it's okay for you to hang up. They called you. If you're not interested,
I just told them, okay, thank you very much, but I don't have time for this.
That's very polite. That's very polite, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't like telephone sales calls. I don't even like phone calls.
So
it is sometimes people think, I've heard people say this. Well, I called him and he didn't answer his phone, like it was some crime. It's like he doesn't have to answer his phone. Maybe he's in the shower. Maybe he's in an important meeting. There could be a million reasons why this person is not answering his phone, and it's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay. But some other things that a receiver should not do. You should not just leave your mobile phone to just ring and ring and ring. Either hit the cancel or mute something. Don't just let it ring so that everyone is annoyed around you.
Okay.
Never take a call in a meeting, ever, 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 or a restaurant, or a theater, if you're in a conference, or if you're in a group where you're talking, whatever. It's very important. If you need to take the call, get up and leave the group.
Some people just put the hand on their mouth and speak, but still,
no, that's not
still
good enough.
Others can hear you.
They can hear you, and it's disruptive. In a theater, your phone should be off or at least on vibrate. And if you need to take it, I wouldn't even answer it until you were out of the theater. Same with a restaurant. Either go outside of the restaurant or go to the restroom, or at least to a quiet corner where there's no one around. It's pretty rude.
I think that's something that we need to be aware of, that to be nice when taking the phone, and
exactly.
this etiquette that you should adopt.
And these are pretty standard internationally. There are some cultures that are more strict, have more rules, which we're actually going to talk about in a later show. And never answer another person's mobile phone.
I think so too.
Yeah. That's an office line is different, but a mobile phone is so personal. You have so many things on it. Your photos of your family, and it's just very, very private. Very private.
Ajahn, what about the general etiquette for both caller and receiver that we should be aware of? What about this multitasking? What is it?
Multitasking is when people do two or more things at the same time, which sometimes it's good at work, sometimes it's not. So it's important for both the caller and the receiver to focus on the call. Not do something else.
Yeah, especially when you drive,
Oh, that's just dangerous.
Yeah, it's the law actually now.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Focus on the call. It's just rude if you're talking to someone on the phone and they're having an actual conversation also with someone else. And also, this is really important, end the calls with a goodbye greeting. Don't just hang up.
Nice talking to you.
Yes, it was nice talking to you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye is very important. Very important. If you've arranged to meet at a later time, I look forward to seeing you, or see you then. If some people just, when they're finished talking, they just hang up, and I think, were we disconnected, or are they angry with me? Did I say something bad?
How about this very, very important thing, Ajahn, how to be polite on the phone and remain civil. When you're in a bad mood, don't ever pick up the phone.
Exactly. That's why it's okay not to answer the phone. If
what about yelling, Some people talk very loudly.
Some people
even
do.
in public place.
Yeah.
They don't have any secret at all.
I know, but it's often entertaining to listen. Sometimes I enjoy that, even though they shouldn't be doing it. I hear lots of personal things. It's amazing what people will discuss over their mobile phones while in the middle of a restaurant with people around. Also for both, it says don't make or take calls in inappropriate places, like bathrooms. I see that a lot. And I have told all of my friends, don't ever call me from a bathroom.
John, what about this taking another call when some people have two mobiles, and maybe one landline, or they take too many calls. I feel very annoyed by that, Ajahn.
I do too.
They do not respect
it's not
me
polite.
at all.
It's not polite, and it definitely makes whoever you're putting on hold to take another call like that, you're making them feel like they are not important.
Yeah.
So it's a big mistake in business, because you're telling that if it's a customer, you're saying you are not that important. I'm going to check with this other person who's more important.
Okay, John, today we have learned a lot about telephone etiquette, and I hope we can adopt many of those in our real life.
Good, I hope so.
Thank you
all
very
for
much.
joining us. Bye.
Culture Me.